Are you doing the environment and nature's ecosystems a favor because you don't eat meat? Hey, this is Josh from Vitality Maximize. You can find us on YouTube, Odyssey, Telegram, Facebook, and Instagram for insightful content to help you navigate and maximize your health and wellness journey. There are going to be two parts to this video. This first part will briefly discuss the claim being made that meat production increases greenhouse gas emissions and this harms the environment, increases your carbon footprint, and contributes to global warming. For the purposes of this video, we are going to assume that the consensus about greenhouse gas emissions and global warming is correct. The whole talk about it, if you want to go on a deep dive, this is not the video for such a deep dive. It can be a very emotionally charged topic, and it is sadly a very political topic. So I ain't gonna entertain that. So I'm gonna approach this video based on the qualities of the studies that supposedly support these claims. So I'm just going to base this off, as best as I can, a scientific, approach. So for starters, I did see that there was a recent study, like just this month or last month, by Nature Food, showed that swapping chicken for beef and non-dairy alternatives for dairy improved dietary quality by 4 to 10%, with the carbon footprint carbon footprint reduced by 35%. By the way, this was a result of a simulation. Yes, a simulation. Do you think a simulation, so that means a computer generated projection, are a sign of reality? If you think it is, so be it. But yeah, that's what money has been poured in for research content. Is it really adding any value? That's up to you. Just shifting gears a little bit, I'm going to have you consider the following regarding, meat production and, greenhouse gas emissions, land use, water use, blah, blah, blah. Did you know that if you reduce all livestock in the US food system, so just the United States, there's no livestock at all, greenhouse gas emissions will only reduce by less than 3%. Did you know that 94% of the water use attributed to cows is what you may call green water, meaning naturally occurring rainfall? So that means not much water is being collected from groundwater and surface water. Did you know that 60% of the world's agricultural land is not suitable for growing crops and thus can be grazed by livestock? Did you know that opting for meat substitutes can have a substantially higher greenhouse gas emissions than locally sourced animal foods? And lastly, did you know that livestock upcycle food waste and graze on land can't be farmed? If any of these new information illuminated any of your understanding about the realities of agriculture, put a comment down below and give us your take, give us your opinions. I will say that with all these, consider the following of did you knows. I will leave a link to that information below, either in the show notes or in the comment section. So yeah, moving on. Someone could ask me, well, what about fat flatulence? Don't cows fart and add methane? Cows fart, yes, but so do you. If you're prone to a poor digestive function and a suboptimized gut flora, should you be fined, regulated, murdered, banned from procreating and having children because you farted and released some gases and you added to the greenhouse gas emissions? You don't suppose that would be justified. So what makes you think that it is justified for anyone, say a government body, 3 to 5 letter agency, to tell a farmer to stop raising livestock because of something cows have always been doing for a very long time? Like, you have to make it make sense and apply the same energies to other facets similar to this. So yeah, and another maybe concern of some of you could be, won't animal grazing lead to desertification? Sorry. My take is, yeah, animal grazing may lead to desertification, but that all depends on how animals are treated and what methods are used to, sort of restore the soil and the land that has been desertificated. Desertification has been a talking point for a few decades now, and the only proposals has only been geared to reducing the rate of desertification, but not reverse it. And a lot of the talks about reducing the rate of desertification has been geared towards eat less meat or eat no meat at all and literally lower your living standards. That's what is typically said in a nutshell. However, since the turn of the 2010s, there's been a positive installment about land that has manifested a reversal of desertification. For example, a 2011 study found that a specific grazing cow pattern increased water content in the soil. Other studies, that have tried this very same pattern or method found little benefit. For those who don't know who Alan Savory is, he proposed that our best hope for restoring land that is currently unusable would be to have cows graze. And yeah, he came out with a lot of chest to say that, and he wouldn't have said that if he didn't travel along the African continent, and he got results from having cows graze in different areas of the land to restore the soil. And finally, Joel Simpleton and Polyface Farms. Before, in the early days when Joel acquired some land, right, it was actually barren and unusable. And now, if you ever take a trip to the farm in the East Coast area, you could see that it's probably blossoming, and part of the methods he used to restore the land in that area, in the land that he owns, right, were cows. And and in addition to that, not only was the land not um, reverse desertificated, so that means um, if that not only was the land, restored and the soil being able to grow, but the CO2, the gas that everyone wants to hate, was actually sequestered by the soil. You can watch more of his tech talk in the links and in the comments and show notes. And let me just add one final comment. If you are so concerned about lowering your carbon footprint and to somehow have some moral high ground, I suggest doing the following: buying food from local farmers, eating seasonally wherever possible, like put an immediate end to processed food and fast food, and find a remote job or gig where you can work from home and use less fuel and gasoline, and make as much use of natural light and air wherever possible, which will end up using less electricity and power. Um, so yeah, I just want to say that this is not hard to do. You don't need to virtual signal. Actually doing this, like, you know, um, action speaks louder than words. And if you want to go down the whole rabbit hole of meat production, how much water is used, how much land is used between, a cow and almonds, I suggest giving Diana Rogers at Sustainable Dish a follow. She goes into a lot of detail into agriculture and how resources are used in the process of farm to plate, of various plant and animal foods. I also want to give a shout out to Chris Kresser and Rob Wolf as well, who have dedicated some of their time and expertise into the topic of meat eating and environment, greenhouse gas emissions, and land use. So, as we conclude, we're just going to circle back the question again. Are you doing the environment and nature's ecosystems a favor because you don't eat meat? That is on you to decide. Thank you for your time, and signing off.